the man deliberately bumped into the prison guard and took the opportunity to grab his battery. When the prison guard returned with food, Carl stuffed the food into his socks, soaked them in water, squeezed out the salt water, placed the battery in the water, and used the electric current to split the water into hydrogen and oxygen. To collect more hydrogen, Carl tore off some paper, soaked it in water, and then the two sealed the windows and vents with wet paper. Next, Carl removed the light cover, cut the wires, and secured the rope to the wires. By this point, the room was filled with hydrogen gas. The two quickly stuffed cotton into their ears, hid under the bed, wrapped themselves in blankets, and then Carl pulled the rope, causing the two wires to spark and ignite the hydrogen gas. The prison's iron door was blown open instantly, and the two immediately fled. The guards heard the explosion and rushed over, but by then all the doors were locked. The two hid in a blind spot of the surveillance system, ambushed a guard, took the keys, opened the door, and sneaked into the unguarded laundry room. Carl then dismantled a shelf, and the two assembled it into a makeshift ladder, preparing to climb out the window and escape. However, the bars on the window blocked their path. Carl opened the fire extinguisher and aimed it at the plastic bucket, collecting the carbon dioxide inside. He then poured alcohol into the bucket, placed a broom inside to stir, and the coolant was complete. Carl applied the coolant to the rebar, and as the temperature dropped sharply, the rebar became extremely brittle. Carl gently pried it with the broom, and the rebar snapped instantly. He quickly removed the rebar from the window, shattered the glass, and the two swiftly escaped through the window. Carl helped the man successfully escape. However, the man did not want to pay the reward. He whistled to call his men, who quickly knocked Carl unconscious. He was locked in the trunk of the car. Carl disconnected the tail light wires and controlled the tail lights to continuously tap out Morse code, sending out a distress signal. His teammates spotted the signal through the surveillance system and rushed to his rescue. At that moment, they were forcing nitrogen into Carl's nose to suffocate him to death. Suddenly, gunfire erupted outside, and the teammates had arrived. Carl took advantage of their distraction, quickly kicked over the nitrogen tank. The recoil force of the nitrogen propelled the tank to spin rapidly, colliding with everything in its path. The men's henchmen were all knocked unconscious by the nitrogen tank, and Carl successfully escaped.